Hello to you all, and welcome to Pyramid Energy. I'm coming here with a slightly compromised voice still. Please be patient with me. It's difficult to describe wanting to record, but without a voice. So my voice completely went away this past week, and there's still coughing and, a bit of croakiness here and there. But the rest was good. The inconvenience wasn't great. And also still the week so eventful still. But here we are. I'm recording this at about 10 to 9 on Sunday evening. I plan to post this straight after recording it, just because I can't think of anything more soothing to do right now. And so with that, I want to share how deeply grateful I am that you are all here. Okay, so I have shuffled and I can see the full spread in front of me. I don't think I'm going to show this one on the screen just because of time. But I am speaking to someone who is holding their new beginning gently within the palm of their hands. Okay, so you're not in full go mode. Okay, so you've slowed down on something, or you're just gradually picking up pace. This new beginning, it feels like there are things changing while you're moving. And you don't want to make any sudden movements, but you can feel that there are some coming. Okay, and I'm seeing this in already the area of your advice. I've never pulled the Tower in reverse. I have the Tower in reverse with the High Priestess and the King of Pentacles. And so just to start off with the advice here, what they're saying is there are things that you have picked up on intuitively over time. Okay, this has got to do with things in your life that are not changing, power imbalances. Imbalance of power. It's as though there are areas where you have externalized your power. Okay. Not as though like you're a victim, because I can see that this is not victim mentality. This is more around not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting to be ruthless, not wanting to harm anyone, not wanting to destabilize anything. However, I'm seeing here that there's a sense that things really could be more stable. Okay, you know that. They could be more stable. However, a tough choice needs to be made along the way. And you are reaching the point in your relationship with this thing, this aspect of your life, where it is going to continue to send you clear opportunities of areas where you know that you have the power to change this dynamic, okay, and how good it will be, okay. However, these repeated opportunities to ask yourself what you're doing, why you're continuing to let it run this way and not change it, it's like a really positive type of message. It's a positive message in that it's actually showing you with each, let's call it, an inconvenience is caused. You then think to yourself, well, if I do this, then I won't have to struggle with that. Okay. But you haven't changed those circumstances yet. So it's a positive message in that it's very empowering to say, you can do this. Okay. This is an option of yours, but you're just there lingering in the in-between, not having made the choice, but sort of getting clearer about what that choice is, why it needs to happen, all of its benefits. And actually of late, you are being given, more harsh examples of, ways that you're going to be inconvenienced even more. And so you don't want that. And so what that's also doing is that it's bringing up this sort of fear energy, because you're receiving a lot through your intuition. I can see a lot of information is entering, even in the area of what's crossing. You've got the King of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Empress. And so what you're being asked here is, we're giving you a lot of information. It's all information about things that are going to be good for you. Some of these things are easy to implement. Some of them are difficult to implement, but they are all important. They are all for your betterment. And it's almost like everything around you has gone quiet, and lately this information is all you can hear. Okay, so they've turned up the volume. In your surrounding factors, I have the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Emperor. And so in the same reading here, I've got the Empress and the Emperor, which is a sign that things are coming together. I also have the Lover's card. I've got the Fool. I've got the Magician and the Chariot. I've got a fair number of really good cards here. Okay. I can tell here from this set of cards in your surrounding factors that this is the continual issuing of information to you that you need to use, that you have the power to use. And when you're not using it, they're asking you, why aren't you doing this? Okay, so you don't feel like you have the answer yet to why you aren't doing it. You know, I can see here, the how is not complicated. The how is not complicated. What's complicated is actually nothing but what it would mean in the future. For example, to do this thing now has got short-term benefits for you. Okay, I see that. However, it looks like doing this, and it looks like it doesn't matter when you do it. Okay, that's what it's feeling like. Doing this now or later will have repercussions on another party. Okay, your environment, the people you're dealing with, the person you're dealing with, an aspect of your life that it feels like some form of a relationship that we're dealing with. Relationship is not just between two people. It could be, you'd need to interpret that for yourself. Okay. And so I see that you're sort of moving into that, trying to solve problems that haven't come up yet, that may not come up. Okay. There's this aspect where you're trying to solve problems or manage outcomes that may never exist. No matter how likely it seems that these things will happen, it doesn't mean that they will happen. And so whether they happen or not has actually got no bearing on whether you should take this decision now or not. I want to unlink these two things, because when you have them very linked, which is very much, I'm seeing like a normal human being, just in terms of how we deal with life, how we make decisions, how we think things through, how we avoid pitfalls, just how the human psyche generally works is that we think, if I do this, then that will happen. Okay. And what they're saying is our perspective can sometimes be really limited, because we tend to then block ourselves from the opportunity of something else happening, and also from the biggest opportunity that there is, which is to unleash yourself from where you are. And so it's almost like they're trying to say, while you stay bound without making this decision and not making this choice, you're basically blocking further movement, new opportunities unfolding, the surprising universe showing up and not having things end the way you think they're going to end. And so you're calculating everyone else's sort of circumstances if you choose you, is what I'm seeing. And they're saying, the rest is actually not really up to you. And in the top of mind, I have Ace of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. So this is very much a big opportunity for what's coming through here. Not just love, not just family. It's like you and your family, you and the things you love, you and, family is a big word. It's not just our spouses and siblings and children and parents. It's family could be soul family. It's more the people the environment that makes up this feeling of home in your heart. And so all of those sort of things that contribute to that part of your life have an opportunity here, a big opportunity to grow, to multiply. Okay, but it's all kind of, it feels like it's sitting in this choice. And I see from your recent past, I have the 9 of Wands and the Page of Wands. And as I was shuffling for these cards, I just happened to see the 10 of Wands. But I was shuffling through, but the 9 and the Page kind of give me a 10 of Wands together. Not that the Page is 1, but the Page is the next card after 10 and the 9 is so it kind of, this feels like you looking around at your life and wondering which areas still bring you grief. Okay, so you've spent some time thinking about this and you're very aware of them. It's just you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing one of those big red buttons. I don't know where we find them. It feels like an emergency button, you know, like you press this button, all the sirens are going to go off. You press this button, the fire engine is coming, the emergency services is coming. Everyone will know there's a problem. It feels like that. I'm just seeing this big red handy button. And so you're sitting in this room and you can see that button, and these emergency doors are just not going to open if you don't press that button. So you know you need to press it, but you really don't want to press it because you're not completely uncomfortable where you are, and it's not a real life-threatening emergency, but it can sometimes feel like that, okay? This is a tough message to share, but it's actually not, because it feels to me here that this is a persistent energy, and I wouldn't be seeing this energy if I wasn't speaking to someone who is not going through exponential growth, is what I'm seeing here. So your own growth is multiplying. And so what's happening is that this momentum is not blocked as such. I can see it here because you're in manifestation mode. Things are growing in your life. It's just the growth wants to be more. And it's not like you can choose to bypass this step, because you are in a continuous growth path, and they're saying this is not going to stop. And so this other thing is just, it's got to go. It's like I'm seeing layers of a thing. I'm seeing something that has layers to it, and you're on the inside and you're moving outwards through this. You know how they show the Earth's core and then they show the layers of like inside the earth, you know, like how they show those layers? It feels like you're inside and you need to get outside, and they're just like, this is just one of the layers and you're going to have to go through this, otherwise you're going to feel stuck in a layer. Okay, so you are moving outwards, but this phase, this thickness, this layer is not going to just part. Okay, this is very much about your choices, and they are showing me here that this is going to be very healing. They're showing that in the length of time you've spent on this, it's like a problem that's always been there, but it's growing and feeling, and it's also bringing up this fear thread through your intuition. And it's not doing this necessarily to scare you, but it comes in the form of an alarm. You know, I'm seeing it again, this red button's coming up, but it's like your life, your own life is sending you like a slight siren through your intuition, and it's sending you maybe sometimes through your physical reality. And this is not feeling too harsh for you to handle. That's not what I'm seeing. But they're saying like, but why suffer? Why do this to yourself? Because they're showing me that for a certain number of times or certain length of time or period, when we are not aware that we have the power to change something, yes, okay, then we are victims of that thing. Because sometimes you can be a victim of something. Let's not be unreasonable. I mean, yes, we're powerful, but there are times where stuff is done to you, and stuff that somebody doesn't need to do to you happens. Okay, for example, or things come up, and like you could see yourself as a victim of time. It doesn't always have to be a person. A victim of time, a victim of lack of resources, all these things, okay? And what they're saying is, but once we figure out that we have the power to change this thing, and that you can press this button and then, the services come through and everyone to the rescue that understands that siren or that button, or that's on the other side of what's meant to happen when it's pushed. Okay, for example, they're saying then we're no longer in the victim zone, because that is actually like self-victimization is what they're showing me. And they're saying that the nature of the matter does not change whether we are talking about self-victimization or not. Self-victimization is very much around who holds the power. They're also showing me in your outcome the Lovers, the Seven of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Hanged Man, which is telling me that there's going to be a choice here where you can't actually tell just how much this is going to affect your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your spirituality, your relationship with stuff. It's like got lots of relationship energy on many layers. I'm seeing this from the staircase almost in the Hierophant. They're saying you can't even see. You can only see like a small part of the spectrum. You cannot see the whole thing. You've been waiting for things in your life. So this thing that we're talking about, this energy, affects many spheres of your life, a number of spheres in your life. They're showing me like at least 3, 4, 5. They're willing to go up to 5, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if I'm speaking to you, you know that this is for you, okay? And they're saying that you've seen some possibilities. This is interesting because it's this possibility, as I said, that all of the sort of little segments of this graph that I'm being shown here expanded big time. So they're saying you see like a form of growth and expansion in one or all of these areas. And they're saying that once you make this choice, once you act on this decision, you cannot see what's going to happen, but they're saying it's going to change so many things. It's going to change so many things. I don't want anyone out there to go gamble on their lives on big decisions, please, not based on this reading. But I just mean, this is more around, okay, I'm going to go back to your advice. It's got the Tower in reverse, the High Priestess, and the King of Pentacles. The Tower in reverse is asking you, what is not changing? Where have you not shifted your perspective? Okay. What also comes in the form of a tower, but has the ability to keep towering you? Okay. This is how it's coming through. It has the ability to continuously bring towers, but the thing that causes the tower or gives the tower the ability to continue to grow or be built upon is not being changed. Okay, so I'm seeing like, okay, a tower is like a shocking realization or big shift in perspective, something that has been left to grow long and in a sort of something unsustainable that has been left to go on that suddenly stops working one day. Okay, so this is like, it feels like a stubborn sort of relationship, and it's not that you can't deal with it, okay, because this is in reverse. It's not like you can't deal with it, but it's like it keeps doing this because that's just the program. That's just how it's meant to be. This thing is not built to make sense. This thing in its current form cannot grow sustainably. This thing in its current form cannot give you better results. That's what they're showing me. It's like literally, the result. Okay, so this is actually helping me to clarify what this thing is in your life. If this part of your life that you're looking at is a difficult area of your life, they're not saying run from difficulty. Okay, so now we're going to discern and really tune into what it is that this is in your life. We're allowed to keep difficult things in our lives because there are those of us, some of you stay in challenging places because they build you up. Okay, so if there's something in your life that is moving forward, progressing. It is difficult. You sometimes ask yourself, maybe this is not for me. And then you keep going back in. Something draws you back in. You want to go back in. They're saying that's not what we're talking about. If we were talking about that, perhaps an aspect of it, but not that. That's not it in its entirety. And they're saying, look at the energy and try not to look at it as objects, a whole relationship, big things. They're saying, because again, we could be talking about something happening in your mind. Okay, something that happens internally. And so they're saying, just sit with that and see what aspect just keeps repeating and this could just actually be the energy of fear, where something brings this recurring feeling of fear into your life, yet you have not eradicated that thing. Okay, or it brings about circumstances that breed fear and you haven't done anything about that thing. You haven't sprayed it with mosquito spray. You know what I mean? I laughed there because just as I brought out in my mind this mosquito spray, and you just want to spray something, you wouldn't do that to something you want to keep in your life. You'd do it with something that you're really fed up with. Look at those numbers on the clock, 212 4444. They're saying, you have looked yourself in the mirror many times about this decision, and they're saying it's go time. No more wasting time. That's what they're saying. You've thought about this long and hard. You've thought about this long and soft. That's how they're putting it. Okay? And they're just showing me this high priestess. It's you know. And so you wouldn't, this is something where, you have, let's say, if somebody gave you a can and you, in your mind, and you could just spray this thing with just this can to just make it go away and just be done. And you didn't have to show up, let's say, to wherever you need to do the admin for it or whatever, the conversation, whatever it is, you would let someone else do it for you. You just want it done. Okay, so this thing we're talking about is something you want gone. And that's how you're going to know what we're talking about. In the area of what you want the most and fear the most, I've got the Strength card, the Queen of Cups, and the Seven of Cups. I had to look up Queen, and even though I knew, I know what Queen is 5. Okay, so you have quintuplets, or you have what a Queen. Okay, it means 5. And 5 represents change. So we've brought that up. But more than that, they're actually speaking to these areas of your life that are going to change as a result of this thing. And they're saying here, with what you want the most and fear the most, what they're showing me is you almost are afraid that you cannot hold or contain what will result on the other side, even though you want to get to the other side. You're not sure what it's going to look like. You realize that you've already actually attracted this future, this possibility, this new set of circumstances in your life. You've already attracted it. It's just a matter of you revealing it, having the courage to actually peel this orange and, reveal the actual juice that needs to be eaten. It feels like you're afraid. It's will it be juicy? Will it be sweet? Or will it be a bit sour? I don't know. And it's you won't know until you peel the orange away, and you want the orange, right? And what's the worst that'll happen? It's a bit sour, but then But the thing here is that we're not talking about a sour orange. We're talking about, it's bringing me, it's reminding me of this guy, I forget his actual name, Minnow Pontaro. I used to watch him so much, and he often says, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I can't remember which card he's referring to, but it's that energy. And they're saying this is going to be worth it. You already know it's going to be worth it, because there is this thing that we're talking about, there is no other way out. This is something you have to do. But I feel like you keep delaying it because of, you tell yourself maybe that you're delaying it because it will be really inconvenient now, but they're showing me that it's never going to be convenient. That's never going to be convenient, because it's a stubborn energy that is benefiting from these circumstances. And so this is for you to release yourself. This is very much about your sovereignty. They're saying we have not even showed you these possibilities because, we've got to come at you in sort of stages. We can't show you too much too soon. Otherwise you get all frazzled, overwhelmed. I'm speaking to you. That's how they're saying it. You get all frazzled, overwhelmed, and then you cause yourself stagnancy because too much information too soon. And I got that message as I was shuffling. It felt like we're not going to give you too much further into the future here. That's not what we're here for. You definitely need to work through this layer of the earth's core. It is what it is. Okay. But they're saying that once you start, it's literally just that push button. So much is they're showing me so much energy moving firstly after you push that button. And they're showing me, like I said, those emergency services, they're just like everybody to the rescue. It feels like that. It feels like all the help that you're meant to be able to receive is able to reach you. That's how it feels. And I'm seeing this differently now because I'm seeing like these emergency trapdoors again, these doors. I'm seeing them differently because earlier I was like, that's a bit of a weird thing to picture when no one's stuck anywhere. But they're saying actually stuck is the energy. Stuck behind a door, a thick iron door is the energy, and you just got to push that button and you're going to get all the help you need. So I feel like this message is being delivered to somebody who knows exactly what they need to do, has waited long to do it, but the circumstances were not always ripe. Okay, that's going back to the orange. They're saying the circumstances were not always ripe. They're saying the circumstances are currently riper than ripe. They really want to drive that message home. Okay, and I felt it. I felt the release after you push that button. I felt it's as if sometimes you don't want to admit that this is so stuck, and they're saying you shouldn't have to suffer this. We don't want you to suffer this, man. Okay, I'm going to leave this message here. I really thought I was going to end up condensing this into like 15 minutes just for my voice, but so much wanted to come through. Okay, and I'm glad that I've shared this tonight for whoever needs this message, because I feel like it's at the top of your mind and it's sitting there also in your subconscious. And sometimes because you haven't been moving on this thing, the stuff in the subconscious, all that actually ends up sort of spewing out is like these threads of fear. And they're saying, you don't have to live like that, man. They keep talking like this. It's very funny today. Okay. Thank you all so much. Sending you all so much love.